Question again is, what do you attribute that apathy to?
They don't care. At the end of the day,
Well, why don't they care?
you know, because it hadn't got in their pocket, and now it has. At the end of the day, the environmentalists used to say, absolutely, stop growth, stop growth, stop growth. This is a runaway train. I'm all for 2020. But now people are out of work. Now people are watching their investment portfolio go down the tubes, these retirees. And at the end of the day, when I talk to them about this destination resort, number one, they want it. Number two, they want the jobs. They're all for it. They're like, people got to go back to work. We got to generate jobs here. We can't build something with taxpayer money and we've got to pay for it like the Red Sox stadium and say, well, we put people to work for a year, but we paid for that. We have a loan now we've got to pay for. A thing like this destination resort with voter approval will be paid for by the private sector. We took out another loan with the Obama administration, $27 million. And the county got in the business of grabbing these habitat homes and grabbing these foreclosures. I bid on, as you know, I'm a roofing contractor. I bid on quite a few of them. I didn't get none of them. They went with the cheap. They were rebuilding roofs, putting roofs on houses that didn't need roofs. They rebuilt these houses. They flipped them in the market. They offered them to HUD applicants, and then now they're wanting to get out of the program. It didn't work. The government has no business being in that business. The private sector needed to buy those homes. They need to be gobbled up by investors. They need to be fixed up, and the private sector needs to do this. The government can't bail out Lee County. The private sector, they have to get out of the way, and they have to encourage, with voter approval, this destination resort. I keep going back to that. District 5 needs jobs. Okay, we need jobs. The retirees want to work. You know, if you go around the county like I have, I see people working security booths that work for the county, that are higher level county employees that are working part-time. It is what it is. People got to work. You know, people got to work to make that house payment and take care of what they got to take care of. So at the end of the day, we've got to have local representation. At the end of the day, we've got to have jobs. At the end of the day, we have to mine responsibly. We got to let people fish. We got to let people grow. And you don't say smart growth. You have managed growth. It's a good thing. Look at WCI. They've rebounded. We didn't bail them out. They sold and they stopped projects and they rebounded and they've got money in the bank and they're cranking up. A perfect example of what I see. And in my opinion, you know, I'm from Henry County. I grew up in LaBelle. Henry County is the #1 unemployment rate in the state. Lee County's second. We're the fault of Henry County. Henry County's got an ag base, but they're a bedroom community, and all of those contractors and all those people were over here working. So we look at it and say, well, this is a three-legged stool. We can't depend on construction. We got to do other things. Look what Clewiston's doing. Clewiston rebuilt an old airport used for World War II fighter pilots. Okay, they have a company coming from Miami that builds cargo jets. They have 600 plus planes on back order. They're moving to Clewiston. High-tech jobs. They're going to build commercial jetliners. Florida Fresh Produce, U.S. Sugar teamed up with them. They're flying asparagus and flowers out of Peru. They're flying bananas out of South America. That free trade's going to open up with Cuba. Clewiston is embracing that air freight. They're going to fly it all in. They're going to truck it on U-Haul Junction. They've got the railroads. They're building themselves. They're digging themselves out of this hole. Bonita Bay owns 1,000 acres over there. They're going to develop. United States Sugar Corporation owns the property all the way around it. Yeah, they're going to sell part of it to the government, but they're looking and saying, what else are we going to do? We got to do something different. We have railroad. Let's use the railroad. Let's fly this in. Let's go. And we have a dinner train. And that's it. There is no plans for any more rail here. They don't want to do. If the Alico Corporation on Key Rye Road, right next to the OK Slough, there's a huge land belt, and Key Rye Road runs this way. And on this section here, it runs to the Callaway Preserve as the OK Slough. Mustang Grade sits here. There's a fire tower. On this side, they found silica sand. It makes high-grade plastics. On the other side of the road, there's an old pulpwood railroad. Alico's going to rail the silica sand to the East Coast and up to the United States. There's billions of dollars worth of this sand, and it's right by an ecosystem. So my point is, you can do that.
How do you propose to sell your other commissioners should you be elected on this? It doesn't seem like, this seems to be your issue, and I get it, but there's 4 other people. How do you, tell me how you would build consensus toward your ideas?
Well, what I would build consensus on ideas is very
Try to.
simple. I think, first of all, the county knows I know emergency services like the back of my hand, and this problem they're having with EMS and whatnot, they don't want to grab that football and run with it. They know I can. If you're a commissioner and Eastern Lee County, here's the commission and here's our big block. If you're a commissioner like Commissioner Bigelow and Commissioner Mann, and you vote no on everything that they want to do,
Well, Commissioner Bigelow's not going to be there anymore.
but Warren Wright may be. I mean, it is what it is.
What does that mean?
The bottom line is this, because he's going to be the same way Brian Bigelow is going to be.
Well,
He is.
let's focus on the consensus building.
The bottom line is going to be, is that if you don't do nothing for them, they're not going to do nothing for you. If you don't take that poker chip and work with them to try to get something done, they're not going to care about what you want to do. And the bottom line, too, is everybody thinks that this commission board is set. This campaign is just a big joke, and the board, the same guys are going to be there.
Consensus is really the question. How are you
Consensus
gonna-
is
how are you gonna
is
get
that I
done?
believe that the voters are going to vote incumbents out.
Representative Caldwell says that the Lee County Commission is a laughing stock of Tallahassee. So consensus is important, and the question was, how are you going to accomplish that?
You work with them. You say to them that you have a dream. You show up to work. You show up to work every day. You're involved in the process, because my opponent is not. You work with them, not sleep through their meetings, and you work to build consensus and say, well, the Bonita Springs folks want this, but the Lehigh folks want that. Okay, I'll vote for you Bonita folks to have this. Y'all vote for me to have that. The Cape Coral clan's the same way. They want to be left alone. They want more tax base. They want more of their things for them. When you run and you talk to folks, everybody thinks they're the redhead stepchild of Lee County, and it's not true. North Fort Myers thinks the same way. Lehigh, Bonita, they all do. You have to work together. You can't throw stones. You have to be. It starts with being polite. It starts with being open-minded. It starts with looking somebody in the eye and shaking their hand and saying, "I'll be there for you, sir."
You're one of your cards.
It's saying that I'll be there for you. It's saying that when you know you can work together, and if I got your back, you'll have mine. If I'm going to stab you in the back, what are you going to do the next time? What are you going to do when my community needs something? Nothing. And look at it.
Well, Mr. Host, we've come to the conclusion of this interview. Any final words before we end?
I am very happy that the news press is bringing to light the issues. You're talking a lot about this election. Most people don't know about this Republican primary. Most people, the best thing I saw that you guys had in your paper, you broke down everybody that qualified. You put the word incumbent next to the person. That needs to happen for this election. And if you do that, these incumbents are going to get voted out of office from the top down. You wait and see, and you remember who you heard it from. It's going to happen. And this county is going to go in a new direction, because we ain't going backwards no more, and we can't afford to go backwards no more. And it is not a color thing. It is a people thing, and it is jobs. And I'm going to put people back to work, because it's a full-time job, and I aim to take this bull by the horns and go to work. Any questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.